They make mistakes. They're human. They're gonna screw up, and you just go like, all right, well, maybe I shouldn't trust every single word this person says.
But all I knew about him was him talking about pronouns, and I'm like, I don't have a to give about pronouns, dude.
Right.
I don't care. But then I saw a lecture. I think he was talking about Aladdin and Lion King and all this, and I was like,
symbolism. He's this exact. That's the
archetype,
meaning.
Yeah, the whole thing. And it was fascinating to me because I'm like, wow, that's really cool. But then it's like, why do I like Aladdin better than I like Lion King? And I started to understand. I'm like, why? And I'm like, well, because Aladdin was a poor street rat who stole food, then shared it with two other poor children, right? Yeah. Even though Abu didn't want him to, who then got lucky and had imposter syndrome and then lied about all these things I could relate to.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the story, you know, and there's a lot of plot holes in Aladdin, and you could say, well, he could have done another wish, and they could have wished for like to end world hunger and all these other things. But like, you know, Jasmine could have then set the genie free. Doesn't matter though. And then you look at, to me, you have The Lion King, which is about a narcissistic head, Simba, who gets humbled. Different story. Right? Yeah. Still a great story, but like one of them is going to resonate with you and one of them's not. And it's like the whole symmetry of the archetypes of these things is really, really interesting, right?
Yeah.
So when I got into that, I was like, I was totally wrong because he could find a way to do that. But I feel like now, right? And we talked about this last night, this whole Sports Illustrated thing where he like called that woman not beautiful. I don't know who she is. I don't look at Sports Illustrated. I didn't give a shit about Sports Illustrated. It doesn't move the needle for me in the slightest. But this like plus size model who's very attractive, looks like a lot of women in the United States, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, most women in the United States don't look like Heidi Klum. You know, my wife is beautiful, right? But she's got bigger hips than Heidi Klum does. Mm-hmm. She's 6'1". She's the height of a model, but like she's fit. She takes care of herself.
Yeah.
She doesn't have unrealistic proportions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like you, by insulting this woman and saying she's not beautiful, and you've now said tens of millions of people aren't beautiful. What do you have to gain from this? Are you addicted to the controversy? What the are you thinking? Do you not have better things to do with I have better things to do with my time. And I'm not Jordan Peterson.
I know.
And he's like, why do you guys hate me so much? I'm like, because you did something stupid. And it's me, you, and 5 other people who respect this guy sitting around a table being like, that was the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
This is a guy who the respect is even putting it lightly. Like he's been an influence on us in a lot of ways. Dude, we really admire him in a lot of ways for things that he's done.
That guy changed my dad's life while he was in prison, right? Helped him put a structure to his life that helped him try to regain the years he spent in prison back with his family outside. Yeah. I have a deep reverence for Jordan Peterson and what he's been able to do.
I was able to connect with my mom, and like we've been missing each other over his latest book, the
12 More Rules.
Yeah, 12 More Rules. Like I was able to connect with her at a coffee shop. We talked for like 3 hours in a way we haven't done in like a decade.
Exactly. So it's like, there's that. And it's like, and even with that, I'm so critical of that moronic statement.
Yeah, 100%. So it's like, especially because beautiful is something that's very subjective. We were talking about in the car, like there's someone for everybody. You know, you can see someone, that person's disgusting and someone else has just, hearts in their eyes. But I think it's when you're in these culture wars and we're on a periphery, I think that you lose it. You have to draw a line in the sand somewhere.
Yeah.
And my lines are going to be different than yours, and Jordan Peterson's going to be different than Ben Shapiro's or whatever. But you draw these lines, whether it's about pronouns or whatever it is. Here's the line. I'm not going past it. He drew a line there that is not my line. It doesn't seem to be a lot of people's lines. Yeah. And I think a lot of people thought that his lines were reasonable here. So when he picks an unreasonable line, they feel like duped almost.
Yeah.
But of course he's going to be off sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I think that even these people like Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, whoever, they hold them up in such high regard that they say like, he is the guy. He figured it out. He has all the answers.
He speaks nothing but truth.
Yeah. And I think it's actually really good to humble the kind of the sycophants of the JP and stuff like that, to step in it a little bit. Or, the controversy around Rogan, I guess, is a kind of similar thing because he's screwed up too. But like, these people they make mistakes. They're human.
Yeah.
And they're smart in like a very niche area maybe or something like that, but they're gonna screw up, and you just go like, all right, well, maybe I shouldn't trust every single word this person says. And I think a lot of people do.
Well, the thing is like, and very rarely do I ever say like, that person needs to apologize for that. Mm-hmm. Jordan Peterson, you need to apologize for that. That was completely inappropriate and unfair and just mean.
Yeah.
It wasn't mean at somebody who was being mean to you. Nobody said you need to make a fucking comment about this. You invited this shit on yourself, and then you played the victim. And it was petty and childish. And I feel weird saying that about Jordan. I really do, but it's frustrating.
It was off. And I think, again, going back to like what Glenn Lowry said, I think for Jordan to go like, you know what, I was off on that one. I just had some blind spots. Like that would go so much further, because then his people that are looking at him as like the end all be all would go, oh, maybe I can admit when I'm wrong a little bit. I think I just always look for the learning opportunity in your ups.
That's the responsibility of somebody with that big of an audience and that big of an influence. Is like we need, as fans, I guess, or
Mhm.
supporters, or just people that are charitable to him. It's like, we need you to be the change.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we need you to lead. Like,
Don't add gasoline to this culture.
and don't saying hateful shit on the internet
Yeah.
means that now you've normalized all of your people to be hateful assholes. And I have zero respect for that. Anybody who does it, whether it's
100%.
Charlie Kirk or some crazy lefty or, you know, or Vosh, like these
Yeah.
other people who just are hateful. Or Cenk Uyghur's a good one.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, that's why
And
it's good for us to
you
call out Jordan Peterson, I think. 'cause
exactly
for this
because-
reason.
And it's like, if you want to be in the camp with those assholes, be my guest.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm
out.
done.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
there's other really powerful, influential people that are actually acting in a principled way that I can go follow. That
Yep.
are great authors.
Yep.
That are trying to do the right thing. And if you want to be a petty little child, then be my guest. But I want nothing to do with it.
No, I'm with you.
Here's the deal, Jack. YouTube hates us. They hate us. We're being persecuted against. I don't want to say it's because of my race, but we can make some assumptions. You know what I'm talking about? And one thing you can do to really help this channel out is subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, turn on post notifications, and leave a comment on this video. Okay? Overcome the hatred. Be the change you want to see in the world. Live, laugh, love. Subscribe to the fucking YouTube channel.